Elevate your website's performance with the top SEO auditing service today. Your website is a 24/7 SDR, whether you treat it that way or not. In B2B, your website is the quietest member of your sales development team, and often the most persistent. While your reps are offline, prospects are searching, comparing, and shortlisting vendors based on what they find in organic results and what they experience once they land. If your pages load slowly, your content misses intent, or your forms create friction, you lose opportunities before an SDR ever gets a name in the CRM. That risk is bigger than most teams realize because buyers start high in the funnel. About 71% of B2B buyers begin with a generic search query, so ranking for problem-focused terms is often the first touch in the deal cycle. If you're invisible, or visible but underwhelming, you're effectively opting out of a large share of your market's early consideration. This is why a modern SEO auditing service should be evaluated like a revenue initiative, not a marketing cleanup. Done right, it finds invisible leaks across technical SEO, content relevance, and conversion paths. Done poorly, it creates a long list of tasks with no owners, no prioritization, and no impact on pipeline. Why SEO auditing is a revenue conversation in B2B. Organic search is still the workhorse channel for most B2B websites, driving roughly 62% of traffic on average. In many studies, SEO is also tied to meaningful business outcomes, up to 44.6% of B2B revenue in some analyses, because it captures intent at the moment buyers are actively researching. If your SEO foundation is shaky, you're not just missing traffic, you're missing sales conversations you never get to recover. It's also tightly connected to lead flow, not just awareness. Organic search can account for about 53% of inbound leads for B2B marketers, which means technical issues, misaligned pages, or weak internal linking can quietly cut your inbound engine in half. The practical takeaway is simple. An SEO audit should be scoped to protect and grow pipeline, especially on pages closest to conversion, like solution, demo, and pricing pages. Speed and UX make this even more urgent because they can erase high-intent demand instantly. About 53% of mobile users leave a site that takes more than 3 seconds to load, and bounce probability can increase by 32% when load time moves from 1 to 3 seconds. If your best intent pages are slow, you can rank well and still lose the deal before the prospect ever sees your offer. What a top SEO auditing service should include beyond an automated report. A real SEO auditing service isn't just a crawler export with red flags and generic best practices. It's a structured review of technical accessibility, content relevance, authority signals, and conversion paths, translated into business decisions. The outcome should be clarity on what to fix first, why it matters, and how you'll measure impact in revenue terms. On the technical side, the audit should validate crawlability, indexation, internal linking, redirect hygiene, sitemap and robots directives, and architecture choices that can hide important pages. In B2B, the important pages are rarely your homepage alone. They're your solution pages, comparison pages, and demo or pricing experiences where intent is highest. Your auditor should be able to say, in plain language, which specific issues are suppressing those pages and how to remove the ceiling. On the content and intent side, the audit should map keywords to offers and funnel stages so you stop chasing vanity terms that never convert. This is also where sales input matters. SDRs and AEs can quickly validate whether a keyword represents real buying intent or just curiosity. When you align SEO with the questions prospects actually ask, your content becomes pre-sales enablement, rather than traffic for traffic's sake. How to turn audit findings into a 30 to 90-day implementation plan. The biggest difference between an audit that changes revenue and an audit that collects dust is prioritization. Your service should deliver an effort-scored roadmap that your developers and content team can realistically execute, not a 100-item backlog with equal urgency. If engineering can't touch the site for 6 months, the audit needs to call that out and focus on changes you can ship now. Start by defining success like a pipeline project. Organic source meetings, visitor to lead rate, MQL to SQL rate, and SQL quality, not just rankings. If you can move a B2B site from 1.5% to 3% visitor to lead conversion, you effectively double leads without buying more traffic. That's why the conversion path portion of an SEO audit, forms, CTAs, page layout, mobile usability should be non-negotiable. Then prioritize pages closest to revenue before you polish the blog. Your pricing page, demo page, and core solution pages should get first access to performance fixes, metadata improvements, content refreshes, and internal linking upgrades. Once those are stable, you can expand into broader topic coverage and top-of-funnel hubs that build authority over time. A great SEO audit doesn't just tell you what's broken. It tells you what to fix first to create the fastest lift in qualified pipeline. Best practices that make SEO audits stick and compound. Treat the audit as an operating rhythm, not a one-time event. Search algorithms shift, competitors publish non-stop, and your own website changes every sprint, so technical debt can creep back in quickly. A practical cadence is quarterly mini-audits for core web vitals and crawl issues, plus a deeper audit every 6 to 12 months aligned with revenue planning. Run a pre-audit workshop that includes marketing, RevOps, and sales leadership so the auditor understands ICP, deal dynamics, and the content that actually moves opportunities forward. This is where you identify the offers that matter, the objections SDRs hear on calls, and the pages that are supposed to drive demos. When an SEO auditing service has that context, their recommendations become sharper and far easier to defend internally. Finally, build measurement into the plan before you touch anything. Capture baselines for organic sessions, conversions by landing page, organic sourced MQLs and SQLs, and meetings booked from organic. If you implement the roadmap well, many teams see 20 to 50% organic traffic improvement within 3 to 6 months, and the pipeline lift becomes clear over the next 1 to 2 quarters. Common SEO audit mistakes that quietly kill results. One of the most expensive mistakes is buying a cheap, automated audit report and calling it a strategy. Crawler exports are useful inputs, but they don't tell you what matters to revenue, what's feasible for your dev team, or how to sequence fixes. Without human analysis and prioritization, the output becomes noise and nothing ships. Another common failure is optimizing in a marketing silo without sales input. If you don't involve SDRs and AEs, you can end up targeting the wrong personas, ignoring real objections, and over-investing in content that never helps a buyer make a decision. Pull sales into the kickoff and ask your auditor to map recommendations to funnel stages and specific offers, especially for high-intent pages. Teams also underestimate the impact of speed and UX because it feels technical rather than revenue. But when 53% of mobile users abandon after 3 seconds and bounce risk jumps 32% from 1 to 3 seconds, speed fixes become demand protection. Make performance improvements on revenue pages the first sprint, not the last sprint. How to use audit insights to improve outbound and SDR performance. A good audit doesn't just improve rankings, it reveals the exact language buyers use when they describe their problems. Those keyword patterns and questions should go directly into SDR talk tracks, objection handling, and cold email personalization. When outbound mirrors inbound intent, it feels less like interruption and more like relevance. This is where pairing inbound improvements with an outbound engine becomes powerful. If you're working with an SDR agency, a cold email agency, or running sales outsourcing with an outsourced sales team, Audit Insights can raise reply rates and meeting rates because messaging matches active research behavior. At SalesHive, we use these insights to help teams tighten positioning across outbound sales agency workflows, cold calling services scripts, and account targeting. So increased organic visibility translates into real conversations. The key is to operationalize the handoff, convert keyword findings into a shared message framework, update sequences, and refresh calling prompts for your cold calling team. When your site begins to attract higher intent visitors and your outreach uses the same vocabulary, you create a consistent buyer experience across channels. Instead of treating SEO and outbound as separate worlds, you get a coordinated pipeline system. Next steps: choosing a service and proving ROI to leadership. To choose the top SEO auditing service for your business, start with proof of B2B depth, not generic SEO claims. Ask for case studies in comparable sales cycles and deal sizes, and request a sample deliverable to confirm it includes technical findings, content strategy, and a prioritized 30 to 90-day roadmap. If they can't talk comfortably about sequels, meetings, and conversion rates, they're unlikely to deliver a revenue-grade audit. Post-audit, report like a revenue team. Track organic sessions and core web vitals, but put equal weight on visitor-to-lead rate, organic sourced MQLs and SQLs, meetings booked, and closed-won influence. If you've captured clean baselines, it becomes straightforward to show that specific fixes drove measurable lift, especially when your conversion rate moves from average to good, like 1.5% to 3%. Most importantly, commit to execution. Many organizations can diagnose problems, fewer can ship fixes quickly and keep the site healthy as it evolves. When you treat your website like a production SDR, measured, coached, and improved on a cadence, you stop leaking demand and start building a compounding pipeline channel that supports every other motion, including outbound.